Hello, I'm Rebecca the Maths Lady and welcome to this video which is all about teaching the classes which are facing the most challenges in the 2021-22 academic year post-lockdown. This video is all about teaching Year 1 in England, which is very similar to P2 in Scotland. In general, it's the second year of formal education which children start when they are 5 or 5 to 6 years old. I'm going to refer to it as Year 1 in this video. In this video, I'm going to clearly describe some of the most serious challenges some classes are facing post-lockdown, and I'm going to explain some of the strategies you can use to face these challenges head on and make sure all your children make great progress this year and really love their school experience. So over the last couple of years, the most serious challenges have come in the schools where very few or none of the children have effectively been home educated during lockdown. Typically in these schools, maybe about 10 children in the class have been in most of the time, and those children have thrived and done really well. But typically when the rest of the class returned, teachers are suddenly dealing with classes of children where 10 or 15 children were miles behind. Often they didn't have the teaching assistant they would normally have because that teaching assistant was working one-to-one with children who should have progressed to getting their own support but haven't because that hasn't been processed during lockdown. So it's been such a challenging situation. And some of the children coming to you from their first year of education, reception class in England, will be much further behind than you would ordinarily expect. In the last academic year, teachers have really struggled to deal with that, and I have seen classes where a lot of children have finished Year 1 not yet being able to count to 10 securely or count out 10 objects because they couldn't at the end of the reception class, and the teacher has had to focus on emotional well-being, teaching behaviour, teaching basic phonics and writing, and they simply haven't got on top of that. So one thing is, if you're a Year 1 teacher and you are struggling with extreme challenges, we want to make sure that they are really fluent and confident with the numbers to 10. And it's really important to say that, to say how difficult the challenges are, and that if you get your children fluent with the numbers to 10, for some of you, you've achieved something challenging and meaningful. So as I start to give you strategies for this year, that's why we need to go right back to basics and make sure children are addressing those major gaps in their education that you may never have seen before with children entering your classroom. So in your first few days, when the children are quite quiet, a little bit subdued, haven't become too feisty yet, you need to diagnose and intervene with those children who cannot yet count out up to 10 objects. And you also need to be practicing and checking that children can form their digits correctly and understand how to write them. The communication for all number rhyme formation cards are excellent. Make sure you've got them. Make sure you've got worksheets where children are tracing the numbers and the arrows are clear, so we've got them all going correctly. They're going to be writing their digits so many times this year. If they're getting them wrong, we don't want them reinforcing the mistakes they're making. Let's get that right from the start. So in these first few days, they need to practice their digit formation. You need to be checking that if you say a number, they can count out that number of objects up to 10. And then you need to be showing the numbers and checking that they can correctly write the correct digit for that number. Now, if you diagnose that you've got quite a few children that you're going to have to work with for a few weeks on this to get it right, then clearly you need to do that before you move on to harder topics with the class, because this work is essential for children to be able to thrive with Year 1 work. So you may want to bring forward some of the applied topics like measure, work with shape, practical work with fractions, and you can combine some of those topics. If you do something on capacity, can they show one capacity of liquid that's half of another or a third of another? Can they do the same with length or with weight? Really challenging work that the whole class can work on together because it's a new big idea, really accessible, really relevant, great fun, while you work on that core number so the children aren't bored, they're all thriving, they're all loving their maths, but you're getting those foundations right. Really, you could just bring forward any applied topic that you love that you know your children will love to make sure they're all having a positive learning experience together while you sort it out. And if you get that part of your year right, you're then going to be able to move on and teach your children effectively using the methods that you like. You may find this document useful. This is a page per term planning guide that I prepared, where for each half term you've got the key ideas and the curriculum links and links to videos that explain the heart of that teaching. These methods are more efficient and effective than those you'll find in day-by-day written schemes. So if you're tight for time, these will help you. And they go with this Year 1 curriculum document where everything is coded so you can see exactly how everything cross-links and everything is covered in this planning guide. It also links to worksheets such as this one for calculations within 10 that you might find useful. And these worksheets have links at the bottom where you can click to a site where you can download a version that will auto-generate these, so you can have as many different versions of the same worksheet as you like. It just replaces the numbers but keeps the calculations the same within 10. So your key teaching points in Year 1 are going to be masses and masses of work on the numbers to 20 and calculations within 20. It's things like this: children learning to see that that's 17 in ways that they'd never be able to see that that's 17 instantly. Teaching Year 1 is a very professional art form because nobody remembers what they learnt and how they learnt it when they were 5. You do need guidance on how children learn the key things they need to know. If you just want to watch the videos I created on Year 1, here's a link to them now. You can just click on that playlist, or it'll be in the description of this video. Or you can just go to playlists and look for the age 5 or 5 to 6 playlist. And alongside that work on the numbers to 20, we start to introduce larger numbers with the B frame and the 100 square, and do lots of work on applied maths, and we just have lots of fun. So I really hope you're going to enjoy your Year 1 maths teaching. You got this, it's going to be great. And if you have any worries or any challenges, just post your questions in the comments under this video, or come and join me every Sunday 9 o'clock where I live stream on this Rebecca the Maths Lady channel on YouTube and take questions live. If you're struggling, I want to know and I want to help you. One last thing before I go: if you've got a little bit of budget or money to spend at the beginning of this year, I can't recommend Magnetic Polydron highly enough. It's this here. But for children this age, you just want lots of squares and triangles, and so they can really see how 6 squares make a cube. They can all do that, and they love to do it. It really brings 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions to life. Helps them understand deeply, and it's just so age appropriate. So if there's any money floating around at all and you've already got your big B frame, make sure you shout up and get some of this so you can have as much fun as it's possible to have teaching maths this year, because you deserve to. If you like this video and you think it's useful, please do share it with your friends. It's part of a series for every year group in primary maths. I hope you have a great year. Bye for now.